Basically, if you looked at us guys, would you be able to tell what religion we're from or anything? Or
I'd assume Muslim.
Okay, it's alright. Yeah. Cool. And that's because of the turban.
Yeah.
Alright, cool. Yeah, that's quite a common thing, to be honest. That's what has been told to us. But okay, have you ever heard of Sikhism?
Yeah, Sikh.
You have? Okay, alright. Yeah. So that's what we're here to talk to you about. Okay. So basically that's what background we're from. Okay. And do you know anything about Sikhism?
No, not much really.
Nothing at all? Ever studied it at school as RE or anything?
Yeah, like basic level, like.
Okay.
I don't really know much.
Anything
about
that sticks out at you about it?
No.
Alright, cool. Not a problem. I'm going to go through a few things with you if that's okay, yeah?
Yeah.
And first thing, as you can see, everything starts from one. Okay? Meaning that we believe that there is only one creator that we all come from. So it's not that just somebody, just because if they believe in a different religion or if they're different colour or anything, it doesn't mean that we're divided by different gods or a creator. So the first thing is we're all children of the one creator. Okay, and then it's not that one light and that one creator that we've all come from. It's not to say that he sits up in a cloud or anything and he's away from us or he's in a different world and then he watches over us. He's put himself in his own creation, and there's a light within all of us. That same light we believe is in yourself, in myself, whether it be female, whether it be a gay, whether it doesn't matter who it is, that he sits within his creation. That makes sense?
He's like everyone.
Yeah, so we believe him to be omnipresent. Okay? So it's actually like we live within him. So it's not that he's a figure that sits up somewhere and judging us. He actually, because he's a part of us, so that's how he knows of our each action.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that makes more sense than
So it's not that he can just spot a few 10 people there and then he misses what somebody else over there is doing.
Yeah.
So he's actually able to pick up on, so whatever we say, because he's there, he's present, so he can hear each word we say, whatever we're listening to, he can see. He can hear whatever we're looking at, he can see. Okay, so he's not away from us in that sense. Okay, and then the most important thing is we don't believe that we're here to convince people to try and believe in God. The best way to do it is to say, look, why don't you go and experience him? Okay, and the way to do that is we all believe that we've got like a 10th gate from the top of our head. Okay, so like how we've got 9 gates within our body, like as in our eyes, we've got our ears. These are, we refer to them to be as like gates. But then the 10th one is like a hidden one, which is the top of our head. It's like this. It's like if you can see milk there. Say if there's a glass of milk somewhere. Yeah, so if there's a glass of milk somewhere, but you can't actually see that there's butter in there if you're looking at it. But you know if that milk was to be churned, you can actually produce butter out of it. Yeah, so it's in there, but you can't see it. So even though our creator's, he's within us, he's around us, but we're not able to see him yet. But there is a way, and that way, we believe, is to meditate on him, on his name. Okay. So it's actually like, it sounds quite simple, and it's just connecting with him. So it's just like our phones. It's like, you know, you can bang them on aeroplane mode and then there's no connection. Yeah, but you take it off and then there's a connection. So that we've got that ability within us to switch that connection on, and that's how actually to like sit down. The recommended time is first thing in the morning, and just trying to think of him to be present and call out to him. And we use a name called Waheguru, which basically comes from, it's like the saying wow. So what we're saying is you're wow, and then the guru part means you take us from darkness to light. You take us away from the ignorance of not realizing that you are present, and you take us to that light when we call out to you, when we start to realize how great he is. So it's that connection. So then it's when you can actually then, it's not somebody convincing you that God exists, it's then you then experiencing God for yourself. And then so you then for yourself can say, I felt something.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, so we believe in the oneness. We believe that that same one is within everyone. You can connect to that one, okay? And the other important thing is that, you know, the person that started off Sikhism was somebody called Guru Nanak Ji, okay? So he was spreading the truth, okay? And what the fifth Guru did, so there was 10 of them in a bodily form over 240 years, spreading the message of this oneness, okay? And then what the fifth one did was, the fifth Guru, Guru Arjan Dev Ji, he made something called a Golden Temple, even though the Golden Temple isn't its actual name. But have you ever heard of it?
I've heard of it. I don't really know.
I think that's what it looks like.
Oh,
I don't know yeah. It's got 4 doors, saying that it's open to anybody, whatever corner of the world you come from, any 4 directions, whether you're socially classed to be low in the eyes of the world, whether it be high or middle class, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what job you belong to, how you're classed, what your colour is, what your creed is. It doesn't matter what gender. This is saying we're open to everyone, and it's an open invitation. That's what the 4 doors represent.
Cool.
Yeah, and then what the fifth, and then the fifth Guru was actually tortured by the Mughal Empire of that time, because then it was like that's who was ruling India. Okay, even though he was then tortured, and he was actually martyred and became a martyr, that by these extremist fundamentalist groups, his son, which was then the 6th Guru, instead of retaliating, even though he was somebody armed and always kept an army with him, then he didn't retaliate with the sword. Instead, he retaliated and he built Muslims some mosques. So what he was saying is that there's truth within whatever you believe in, there's truth within that. So instead of attacking them, he said, why not become closer to that oneness that we all believe in that truth. Okay, so to us, we're not within Sikhs, we don't believe in conversions. It's actually this is what we're based on, is to connect. It doesn't matter what religion you belong to, it's for you to follow that religion to your best ability. Okay, so there's nothing to say that this is the only way, and if you don't follow this way, then you go into hell or anything. Okay, so the way it's based on is it's whatever your practice is. Okay, just go out and meditate and experience God for yourself. Okay, when you start experiencing that and connecting, that truth is the same truth as the truth. There's no difference. Okay. The 9th Guru, he actually gave his life for another faith, protecting the Hindus who were being forcefully converted, okay, from the Mughal Empire of that time, and was trying to. But even though he wasn't a Hindu himself, there's 2 things that we're very strong and we believe in, is freedom for each individual. Obviously, freedom within rights. It's not like to say, well, if you're a murderer, I'm going to protect you and I'm going to give my life for that, to say, because I believe in your freedom for being a murderer. So within obviously some boundary, okay? Yeah. So, but he actually gave his faith for he gave his life for another faith. Okay, the 9th Guru did, to say that there's one thing. If we've got a mission, what our mission is to hopefully not to let anyone go hungry. So, and that comes to our next part. So what we do is, within each our place of worship, we call Gurdwara. So there's a free kitchen in each Gurdwara. So it's open to anyone to come and eat there. Okay, and because we believe in equality, there's one thing kind of everyone has to abide by. If you do want to have a meal there, that's to sit on the floor. So everybody to sit in one line on the same level, and everybody to eat the same food. To say this, whether a pauper walks in or whether a king walks in, everyone's going to sit on the same level, eat the same food. So we don't. Our Gurus, what they were about was, it wasn't so much talk. They like to put things into practice. So if they said we believe in equality, so they said, wait, let's try and practicing it together. Okay, and that's one thing they did. So now the Guru that we believe in is in scripture form, which was compiled by the Gurus themselves. So it wasn't a passed on message and then compiled 300-400 years ago. It was done there and then at the time, checked and sealed by the Gurus themselves. Okay, so it's still the direct words, and okay, so it's not a passed on word. The Guru Granth Sahib Ji. So that's our living Guru today. That's who we bow in front of. Okay, so because if we follow the word, you will find the truth. Okay, so that's why we bow in front of the word. It's that the word will direct us to a righteousness life, and to find and to purify ourselves from inside. So that's why we bow in front of the word. Okay. And they've taken writings of other religious people from there. So whether it's there's like Muslim saints in there, there's Hindus. It's because we believe everyone can connect to that same truth and one. So it doesn't matter. So there's nothing different. So if you then include their writing in, because they're still connecting to that same one, it doesn't matter what religion they belong to. Okay, and it's divided not by chapters. It's divided by musical measures. So it's actually sung.
Oh, really?
It's poetry. So what they do is when you go and bow in front of the Guru Granth Sahib Ji, beside them will be people singing hymns with stringed instruments, yeah, with a harmonium, and singing the words, and this is all in poetry and musical measure. Because what musical measure does is it actually brings that mood and melody out. So whatever mood and affection the Guru would have said them words in, we can produce that same mood and affection and feel that same emotion that the Guru said it in through that music, and connect in that same way. And that's why it's quite unique when there's no other scripture divided in that manner, not in music anyway, because music can help you feel something. You don't necessarily even have to understand the words. Sometimes the music brings an emotion out of you, which then afterwards you will want to go and find out what the words are saying. Okay. Anyway, we've got a YouTube channel called Basics of Sikhi. So there's loads of videos. There's about 500 videos up now by us guys, mainly by this chap there. He's a graduate from Oxford in philosophy.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and there's many questions that general questions have that are answered there. We're on Facebook, Twitter. You can ask us any questions, and we do try and help. Yeah. So hope you.
Right, sure.
Thank you. Yeah, that's cool.